restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now.
Hello and welcome to another installment of Kavalden's Common Review. I'm your host, Kavalden. Tonight I have 3 comics to take a look at. Tonight I'm going to be taking a look at the 100-page spectacular of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic, Turtles in a Half Shell, as well as taking a look at the new 52, actually, the new Dark Knight, Batman the Dark Knight number 8, and taking a look at the new Flash number 8 as well. I'm going to go straight to Turtles. This comic itself is not a typical normal comic. It's sort of like a reprint of the original Teenage Mutant, one of the original Ninja Turtle comics. Not the originals that started back, but sort of like the one mostly based off the cartoon. I can basically say it is a 100-page spectacular. The book itself is almost like getting a paperback edition, but it's going to run you about maybe, say, $7.99 plus tax, depending on where you go. The great thing about it is that this book is pretty much... It's almost like reading the original first few episodes of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which, if you are fans like myself, pretty much the cartoon is where I got my start with Turtles. I thought they just went into the comic books because they were a huge hit, but recently, years after I discovered and became a hardcore fan, I recently discovered that they were a comic first before a cartoon, so it's got a nice little reverse roll there. Vice versa, in my opinion. The book itself is really nicely done. I mean, the art style is different, but you can see where the animators got their ideas and so on and so forth from the comics to bring into for the cartoon, and it's really good. Pretty much, I would say it goes over for a 100-page spectacular. This book pretty much does, I think, anything. I would think probably almost the first season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If I have to go into it, but I don't have a guide on me on that point, so I don't know how many episodes back then there were in the first season before this. But pretty much I would have to say there's a lot from the first season that's in this book. And you know, what can I say? It's a good pickup. It's a nice little collector's edition, you know, for anyone who's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan or just a collector in general. Pretty much I'm saying right off the bat, I mean, this is something nice to say right off. It's something nice if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, especially sooner or later, because God knows what Michael Bay is going to be giving us. All right. Let me move on to Batman the Dark Knight number 8. This is a nice little story. It has the Mad Hatter in it, but the cover alone itself is kind of a little false advertising here. Reading the book, the White Rabbit is not really in this. She's not in the... You don't see her fighting Batman or Batman chasing after her like she was in the previous comics. So it's kind of false advertising right there. But the Mad Hatter and Tweedledee and Tweedledum are in this. And I kind of like the way they made the Mad Hatter look. I mean, considering enough, the Jervis Chet, I can't even get his name right. Jervis is not a strong or a capable fighter. He's a feeble little man, and I've always liked that they've made him into a little feeble little man. I mean, even back then when I think the animated series of Batman did the change up in their design a little, they made Jervis Tech into pretty much a 4'5" little guy, and you know he's feeble, but you see he's also a little deranged. This is more of a deranged Mad Hatter, and to be honest, the story and his technique has been done before millions of times. You know, it's probably been done in movies and television alone, you know, over and over again. But it is a nice little story in this, and we do get to see, you know, how Jim Gordon is handling a few things. You know, his wife coming back, his daughter getting out of the wheelchair. So it's a nice little thing, especially before now the Night of the Owls come out. And since every Batman comic, when that saga comes out, the Night of the Owls come out, that every Batman comic from the Batman and Robin to Batwing to Batgirl to Catwoman is going to be involved with the Night of the Owl saga. So I think it's a nice little story before we get that on, and we'll see how that Night of the Owl saga goes. And the Flash number 8. Like I said, there aren't too many of the 52 books that I have been reading. Flash has been one of the books that I still read, as well as most of the Batman and the Action Comics. Everything else I kind of dropped, but Flash has been the only one I've been reading. And I never really read a lot of Flash comics. It wasn't until the New 52 came out that I started reading the Flash comics. And I've liked the new design of the costume. I've liked the fact that when he's running, all that energy is kind of like, if you look closely at Flash's costume, and I've pointed this out before, he has little indentations in the costume that you can see. They're like thin little indentations. When he's running, all the energy kind of seeps through them, and it looks like he's lighting up. And it's a nice little twist. This story basically evolves about how Barry Allen deals with the Speed Force and finding out that things are getting sucked in, and he's worried that he's the cause of it, but it turns out there's another cause, as he's trying to search for friends who were sucked into the Speed Force, and now he's got to find them through maybe timelines. And we all know how Barry handled it the last time through timelines, and we all ended up we all know what happened the last time Barry ended up messing with the timeline. Yeah, we can only pray that doesn't happen again. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. The books have been pretty good. Check out the new 100-page spectacular of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a really nice, like I said, nice collector's item. Next week, let me see. Next week, as actually if I quote, next week will be Free Comic Book Day on May 5th. So check that out. Check your local comic books to see if they're doing a Free Comic Book Day. Plus the Avengers film's coming out. So I'm going to have my little toss-up here on what to do. Check those out. Free Comic Book Day, free comic books, plus see if any of your local comic book places are doing that. I'll try to do something nice for Free Comic Book Day. I'll try to take a look at all the free comic books I can get my hands on, and I'll try to take a look and reviewing them and seeing which ones were actually worth giving away for free. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, and good night.